Hello and welcome, everyone. I am really excited and honored today because I have someone who I personally am honored to call a friend and a colleague. Sheila Hay and I have been journeying together with pleasure for many years, and I am just so honored to have you join our Orgasmic Birth practitioner community today. So welcome.
Thank you so much, Deborah. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I feel really honored to be guest speaking amongst your community. I feel like you and I are most definitely soul sisters and really taking a stand for the integration of pleasure into birth. So this feels really expansive and beautiful to be sharing within your community. Thank you, Deborah.
Thank you, Sheila. And we're excited. You have so many nuggets. I have to say, over the years, every time we come together, there's so much that we overlap, but we each have unique bits,
Yeah.
and you always teach me so much. So thank you for being here to guide me and all that are here with us.
So sexuality, sexuality and birth is something, for those of you that don't know my story, I'll tell you really briefly. It was a big part of my own healing journey from my first birth, which was a fairly traumatic birth, and finding my way back to how could I have an empowering birth experience? How could I have even a pleasurable birth experience? Because that was what I was learning was possible. A big part of that healing came from reconnecting with my own body, with my own body's wisdom. And then from that place, learning about pleasure, learning about expansive pleasure. So we're going to touch on body, then bliss, and then this concept of ecstatic birth, which is how do you hold that concept of ecstatic birth amidst the intensity that you witness so often in the birthing room. The first place I want to begin is with body, right? Like birth is not a head trip. You can read books about birth, you can learn information about birth, but all of that doesn't actually prepare you for what happens in the birthing room. Birth is a body trip. But when you bring your connection to your body at a deeper level, it integrates your mental wisdom, it integrates your ancestral wisdom, it integrates your experiential wisdom, all the experiences you've had your whole life. And it also calls forth your primal wisdom and that biological blueprint for birth. Our bodies are sexual, right? A lot of the work that we're doing here in birth is the reclamation of the sexual, and birth in and of itself is a sexual act. And that is, a phrase that will frankly make most people out there, hopefully not as much in here, but out there, uncomfortable. Where do you want to go and where do you put your attention is one of the most powerful tools we have at our disposal. So reconnection to our body is, you can't feel pleasure if you can't feel. You can't feel if you're disconnected from your body. Bringing your attention and presence to the sensations is the first step to being able to expand into pleasure and being able to allow flow in the body. Being really connected to your body in this way allows you to open to levels of bliss. And so when we're talking about bliss, I just want you to imagine, let's say someone walking through a park on a spring day. She might have somewhere to go and might be in a rush and might be really stressed about like that meeting that she has to go to at the other side. And so she's missing like the breeze, she's missing the flowers, she's missing the warmth of the sunshine on her face. She's in her head, stressed, thinking about where she has to go. Same person, same day, really in her body can savor that breeze on her skin, can savor the sunshine, can notice the gorgeousness of the trees as she's getting to where she wants to go. And so that's the difference between like being very constricted and stressed out and being more blissful. And one of the things we are trying to support in childbirth is presence and flow in the body. And so being connected to the body allows you then to decide how to open to deeper and deeper levels of bliss. And I'm sure Deborah has already guided you through all of this, but it's really worth repeating that the same tools that women use to feel more pleasure in their body, to learn how to orgasm, to learn how to have more expansive orgasms, to learn how to have multiple orgasms, or even like be omni-orgasmic, are the same tools as the tools we use in natural birth. So we're talking about attention, visualization, breath, sound, and movement. These are pleasure tools. And pleasure is the most holistic birthing tool there is, because you can use your breath to access like that oxytocin flow. You can use sound to navigate intensity. And so that brings us to that third topic in body, bliss, and ecstatic birth. So ecstatic birth, first and foremost, is about how you feel about your birth. You know, there's a lot of intensity that can come up in childbirth, especially if somebody hasn't prepared or has a history of trauma in some way, or is just really fearful and really resistant of the process. So there's a lot of intensity that can arrive. And so ecstatic birth creates a framework for like, how do you navigate that intensity? So some of the tools of sexuality that are especially good for navigating intensity are sound and movement. It's a lot easier to be active with intensity than it is to surrender into intensity. But knowing that birth is a part of the sexual process, that all of that energy moving through the birthing woman's body, that is sexual energy, right? And you all as space holders in the birthing room need to be able to allow that flow as well.
Thank you so much, Sheila. This was truly pleasurable. Always just a joy to get to spend time with you, and your great wisdom to really guide us in that connection and expansion of our body, our bliss, and ecstatic birth. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Deborah. I hope that it was pleasurable for all of you and that you could feel some of that like yummy flow in your body awakening as we did the practices together.
Thank you.